It sounds like a joke, but it wasn't. In 1932, Australia went to war, not against another country, not against an army, but against birds. Emus, flightless giants of the outback, fast, elusive, impossible to kill. And somehow, they won. For decades, this strange chapter of history was dismissed as an absurd headline. But behind the laughter lies a story of drought, desperation, and defeat. A story of soldiers returning from one world war, only to fight another they could never win. Tonight, we open one of Australia's strangest hidden chapters, the Great Emu War. The year is 1932. The Great Depression has gripped the world. In Western Australia, the land lies dry, cracked, and unforgiving. Thousands of veterans have returned from the First World War, men who fought in the trenches of Gallipoli in France. The government rewards them with farmland in the outback, a new beginning. But this new life is a cruel one. The soil is poor, the rains come late, and the debts pile high. The farmers plant wheat, hoping for harvests that never come. Each dawn, the horizon glows with heat and dust instead of hope. And then, the emus came. They appeared like ghosts on the horizon, tens of thousands of tall, gray birds marching out of the arid interior in search of food and water. At first, the farmers watched in fascination, then in horror. The emus were unstoppable. They trampled fences, devoured crops, and scattered livestock. A single flock could destroy an entire field in minutes. Their long legs outran horses, their thick feathers deflected bullets, and their numbers seemed endless. Farmers wrote desperate letters to the government, pleading for help. They didn't ask for scientists. They asked for soldiers. In November 1932, the Australian government gave in. 2 soldiers were dispatched to Western Australia, Major G.P.W. Meredith and Sergeant S. McMurray, armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Their mission: reduce the emu population. It was official. Australia was at war with birds. November 2nd, 1932. The soldiers arrive in Campion, a small farming settlement. Their plan is simple: ambush the emus near watering holes and destroy them before they scatter. But nothing goes to plan. As the soldiers take aim, the birds split into smaller groups, darting in every direction. Too fast to follow, too scattered to shoot. The machine guns rattle, but most shots miss. When the smoke clears, only a handful of emus lie still. The rest vanish into the bush, unharmed. Major Meredith writes in his journal, "These creatures can face machine guns with invulnerability." The next few days bring chaos. The soldiers mount their machine guns on a truck, hoping to chase the birds across open plains. But the terrain is rough, the truck too slow, the guns jammed by dust and recoil. And the emus, they seem to know. They appear in groups of 20, darting between scrub and sand. Whenever the soldiers aim, they vanish. By day's end, 2,500 rounds of ammunition are spent. Only a dozen birds are confirmed dead. The rest continue to run, faster, freer, fearless. News of the war spreads quickly. Reporters descend on the area, cameras in hand, eager for headlines. The result? A public relations disaster. Headlines read, "Emus win again. Australia retreats from bird battle." Cartoons appear showing soldiers running from flocks of birds. Politicians are mocked in Parliament. The operation is quietly suspended. Major Meredith is recalled to base. He writes bitterly, "If we had a division of emus instead of soldiers, we could face any army in the world." But the farmers still suffer. Crops are still destroyed. So, just a month later, the government sends the military back. December 1932. The second campaign begins. This time, the soldiers move quietly, learn the emu's patterns, and strike at smaller groups. The operation is more effective, but still, it changes nothing. Tens of thousands of birds remain. The damage continues. By the end of the year, the government admits defeat. The Great Emu War is over. Australia had lost to birds. In the years that followed, the Emu War became legend, a story whispered with equal parts shame and humor. Instead of bullets, the government turned to bounties. Farmers could now hunt emus themselves. For every beak turned in, a reward was paid. Over the next decade, hundreds of thousands of emus were killed, but they never truly disappeared. Even now, in the deserts of Western Australia, you can still see them, running wild, free, and undefeated. The Great Emu War is often remembered as a joke, a tale of soldiers losing to flightless birds. But behind the laughter is a harder truth. This was a story of desperation, of veterans abandoned by their government, of a country at war with its own land. It wasn't the emus who started the war. It was hunger, drought, and pride. When the dust settled, Australia learned a strange lesson, that sometimes nature isn't the enemy. It's the reminder of who's really in control. Under the burning sun of Western Australia, the wind still rustles through the dry wheat fields. In the distance, a small flock of emus moves across the horizon, silent, graceful, untouched. Once, the world tried to fight them. Now, they are a symbol of resilience, of survival, of nature's quiet revenge. The Great Emu War ended long ago, but its echo still lingers in history as one of the strangest, truest wars ever fought. This was Hidden Chapters. Subscribe and join us as we uncover more forgotten wars, lost legends, and mysteries time tried to erase.